Gerard Piqué backs Erik Ten Hag. Gareth Southgate is the favourite to replace Ten Hag, and more updates on Lisandro Martinez's injury. And in today's video, like I just said, we're going to be talking over them three topics. Now, first of all, you've clicked on the thumbnail. Let's talk about Gerard Piqué. Now, Piqué did an interview with Sky talking about Manchester United. Obviously, Piqué played for Manchester United for a short time, but he's more known as a Barcelona player. But he still cares about Manchester United, and you see him hovering around Manchester United every few seasons talking about our club and talking about updates. He did a recent interview with Gary Neville on the Overlap as well, talking about Manchester United and how they can improve as well during that podcast. But anyway, we need to talk about what Piqué said in his most recent comments, and he pretty much says to Manchester United that we need to back Erik Ten Hag, and I completely agree with what Piqué says at this point, and I'll read you out what he says right now. Now, Piqué pretty much talks about how after Sir Alex Ferguson, Manchester United as a club have been on the decline, and we got lost on our way when we lost Sir Alex Ferguson. With too many manager appointments, not enough players, not enough structure, it was a complete mess. And Piqué knows this, and that's why he said it with chest. But at the end of the day, he also goes on to say about how Erik Ten Hag might not be the right man for the job either, like the previous managers of Manchester United post Sir Alex Ferguson. But in our most recent win against Liverpool in the FA Cup, it was incredible, and they are not the only moments that Erik Ten Hag has delivered for Manchester United fans in his career as Manchester United manager. Now, I completely agree with this, and I really don't understand why Erik Ten Hag has received so much scrutiny so quickly. He's not even been here for 2 full seasons yet, and people are already labelled him like we're about to get relegated or something like that. Now, the season is not over, and if Manchester United can play like we did against Liverpool in the FA Cup for every single game from now until the end of the season, I can guarantee you every single Manchester United fan will be backing Erik Ten Hag full-heartedly. But that's not the case. There are going to be games we don't play well in. There are going to be games that we might draw in or even lose. But there are games out there that we must win, and that's especially the FA Cup. I personally believe if Ten Hag wins the FA Cup, he will keep his job, or if he gets Champions League football. They are the two requirements that Sir Jim Ratcliffe seems to have set for Erik Ten Hag to reach if he does want to keep his job at Manchester United. And personally, in my opinion, I think the FA Cup is the most realistic option. It's technically only 2 games away because we've got Coventry in the semi-finals whilst Chelsea and Manchester City are battling out for the final spot. But Manchester United, we should be winning that game on paper. Coventry have had a brilliant Cinderella story, but Manchester United should be getting to that final of the FA Cup. Now, whether it's Chelsea doing a repeat at Wembley because they've already been to the Carabao Cup final, or if it's Manchester City, it will be a massive game. Now, I'm not going to undermine Coventry here, but I think the semi-final is as far as they are going to go, and I think Manchester United will get the job done, especially against Coventry City. But we need to talk about the Champions League football spot. Now, David Moyes might have saved Erik Ten Hag's job here. Now, you might be thinking, what am I talking about? But pretty much the way this new Champions League format works is that the previous season, depending on how many certain clubs from a certain league finish in European spots or in the European competitions, is what league gets the 5th or extra Champions League spots. Now, with Manchester United, with the Premier League, having the likes of Aston Villa, West Ham, Manchester City, Arsenal, and Liverpool in all European competitions still, that gives the Premier League a massive boost to have an extra Champions League spot, which would be for 5th place. Now, Manchester United are currently sitting in 6th, and we are quite a few points behind Spurs and Aston Villa, but it's still achievable. Manchester United have the easiest fixtures if you look at all the fixtures between us and Aston Villa and Spurs. We seem to have the easiest run of games, so it is possible. There are going to be chances for Man United to step up here. Now, this is if Manchester United have the correct mentality, because for me, I think that's where United really lacks from the elite teams in Europe, with the likes of Man City, Liverpool, Real Madrid. We have a lot of quality on the pitch, especially when our full 11 is available and there are no injuries. But I think there's a mentality issue at Manchester United, and that's why we've kind of fallen off the pecking order and why we've kind of dipped in and out of the top 4 for so many seasons post Sir Alex Ferguson. But let me know what you think of that in the comments down below. But yes, David Moyes, like I said, might have saved Erik Ten Hag's job here, because with West Ham getting further into the Europa League and getting deeper into that competition, that'll give the Premier League that extra spot for the Champions League. And if Manchester United can somehow get 5th place and get that Champions League football for next season, Erik Ten Hag's job may be saved. And I personally believe it is the right decision to keep Ten Hag whether or not, because his contract also ends in 2025, which is the end of next season. Why don't we just let him play for his contract or manage for his contract and see if Sir Jim Ratcliffe wants to make the right decision? But this was always going to be the concern with having a new owner, because they'd want to get their own manager in. But that manager is not Gareth Southgate. Now, there have been many rumours about Gareth Southgate being Erik Ten Hag's replacement, and there have been other managers that have been mentioned as well. Robert De Zerbi, the manager from Sporting Lisbon. There have been quite a few managers that have been mentioned, but Gareth Southgate is not the right manager for the job, because at least when Man United have hired new managers post Sir Alex Ferguson, there's been a little bit of excitement about him. Jose Mourinho, the special one, a serial winner. By a lot of Manchester United fans were excited for that one. Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, a club legend that steadied the ship, and Erik Ten Hag winning a title with Ajax and transforming Ajax throughout Europe and making them a very dominant side. Yes, they never won the Champions League, but Erik Ten Hag turned them into a very, very good team. Now, with Gareth Southgate coming in, I can guarantee you at least 60% of the fan base will want Southgate out if he is appointed. So the fans will be on his back from day one, and that is not a good look for Sir Jim Ratcliffe. So even though Ten Hag has had his scrutiny from the media, from certain journalists and from some fans as well, I still believe, in my opinion, that Erik Ten Hag is the right man for the job. Now, I'm not going to be one of them fan channels that says that if you don't support Erik Ten Hag, you're not a Manchester United fan, because we're all entitled to our own opinion. I personally believe Luke Shaw is massively overrated. Some fans love Luke Shaw. It's all about opinions. But at the same time, you can't be hurt or feel insulted when someone doesn't agree with you, especially in this type of community, because at the end of the day, Manchester United, this is the club we all support, and we're all going to have different takes and different outlooks on the way our football club should be run. But this is why I'm sat here talking about this, because at the end of the day, we're all fans at the end of the day, and we all have different opinions, and that's that. I back Erik Ten Hag. I know there's many fans out there who don't, and that's it at the end of the day. But just look at this, for example. I'm not a doctor, but I know when one of my friends or family members is sick. I'm not a vet, but I know what a dog is. And I'm a fan, and I'm not even a head of a football club, and I never will be. But at the end of the day, I know that Gareth Southgate is not the right man for Erik Ten Hag. I'm not going to sit here and try and convince you guys that, and try and fool you guys that Erik Ten Hag is going to win the Premier League or Champions League. But have little faith at the same time. Can guarantee you, all the way back when Sir Alex Ferguson first joined Manchester United, no fan who was attending the games would realise what Sir Alex was going to go and do. Now, I'm not going to sit here and say Erik Ten Hag is going to have the same career as Sir Alex Ferguson did at Manchester United, because that can never be replicated. But as well, have a little faith, and let's see what Erik Ten Hag is all about, because I still think we haven't seen the best of Erik Ten Hag yet. I know from watching his Ajax side that Erik Ten Hag is a very good manager, but I'd rather anyone else but Gareth Southgate. Please, if Sir Jim Ratcliffe wants to get someone new and he doesn't want Erik Ten Hag, then fine, but please, just not Gareth Southgate. And the final part of this video, that Lisandro Martinez is going to be available for our next game against Brentford. Now, we don't know whether he's going to be starting or not, but with his recent call-up to the Argentinian national squad for international duty, it is a massive positive, because let's be honest, when Lisandro Martinez is in this team, we are so much more solid at the back. But Varane, Maguire, Evans and Lindelof, they all are great players. But for me, Lisandro Martinez is our best centre-back. He brings the most out of our defensive line. He helps us play that high line. He's aggressive. He's everything you want in a centre-back. Now, him and Varane, that partnership, mwah, the chef's kiss. That's exactly what Lisandro Martinez and Rafael Varane's partnership is all about. And it helps us play so much more and helps us play further up the pitch. It's brilliant to see. And with the likes of Wan-Bissaka being back, Højlund, Mason Mount and Harry Maguire for the last run and the final sprint for the rest of this season, is a massive positive. So hopefully the rest of our team and the rest of our squad can stay injury free, because no matter what you think of certain players, whether in the starting 11, whether they're on the bench, they will all play a massive part to the end of Manchester United's season. But let me know in the comments down below on how you think Manchester United will do at the end of the season. Will we win the FA Cup? Will we get that Champions League spot? It's all a mystery, but I'm a fan who has faith and I am optimistic, and I do believe Erik Ten Hag is going to make at least one of them achievements, whether it is Champions League football or whether it is winning the FA Cup. I am more looming towards the FA Cup. I do think that United are going to win that this season, which makes me feel over the moon. But obviously, anything can happen. And we will see if Erik Ten Hag and Manchester United can do it. Thank you for watching.